But when only 5 pickers showed up this morning to harvest his sweet potatoes, farmer Keith Smith saw possible ruin, the loss of his $500,000 crop.
They're running scared because of this new law.
And you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble, bad trouble.
Smith's 200 acres need 20 pickers, mostly Mexican nationals.
There is not enough documented people here to supply that workforce.
I need to know if you saw a buried report that Texas overnight has nobody working their fields. They ramped up their ice raids, which Florida and Texas have been doing for months. This is not new. But their farms right now, nobody has shown up to work. They have animals in danger of dying, of getting sick, because they don't have the workforce. And I saw another creator about 2 weeks ago say this is why they just ramped it up in California, especially in California, because they're trying to crash our economy, which is apparent. It's part of Project 2025. If everybody's hungry, if everybody's poor, if everybody's starving, we're easier to control. So, good luck.
So some bad news for U.S. agriculture. Farms in Texas are shutting down at an increasing rate. This is mainly due to the fact that their workforce has literally vanished 100% overnight in some cases. Of course, the immigration raids by Donald Trump's ICE department is causing this, and it's leading to complications for the business, and in many cases these businesses are actually shutting down. The issue with this, of course, is that supply chains will be affected. Prices will be increased as food scarcity increases as well. So folks, let me know what you think about this story. The source for this is MSN. My name is Nick. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.
Welcome back. Where the truth don't get sugarcoated. It's your girl Tiffany Rose, and whoop, we got a lot to talk about. Let's get to it.
If illegal immigrants, undocumented, unregistered illegal immigrants in the state of Florida were stealing U.S. jobs, and that the only reason why U.S. citizens couldn't get a job anymore is because of all these illegal immigrants that are criminals, why is it that a month later, after one of the biggest raids on construction sites in Florida happened, why is it most of those jobs are still vacant? Why is it that a bunch of U.S. citizens didn't run to start taking on all of those jobs that now became free because all of the illegal immigrants that are supposedly criminals are detained or have been deported out of the state and the country? I'm just wondering. I mean, I don't want to apply logic and reason when it seems to be in scarce supply here. But what I know is that apparently this administration and this governor of Florida has preached this whole big narrative that we need to get rid of the illegal immigrants because they're criminals. But yet the stats that are coming back now show that less than 30% of the immigrants that were detained or in detainment right now at ICE facilities or have been deported out of the country don't even have a criminal record. So you're detaining people on the pretenses they might cause a crime. That's fine because we've got an actual felon in the White House, but yet nobody has a problem with that. What I do know is that we've literally criminalized the immigrants of this state. We've created a huge problem with our job market, and we are now taxing out of the taxpayers by charging them $10,000 per immigrant that they detain and deport out of the country. What do you guys think? Does it seem justified to you? I'd like to hear. For all of you that are suffering through this, please show your support by reposting this so that maybe other people can speak up about how they feel.
Over 50% of people farming in the U.S. right now are going to retire in the next 10 years. Of those people, they own over 50% of the farmland in this country, which means what is going to happen when they retire in the next 10 years? What is going to happen to this farmland? Who is going to take their place? The amount of people coming in to take farmers' place since the 1980s has dropped dramatically. I am by no means a commercial farmer over here trying to work hundreds of acres with a tractor, but I do have nearly 7 acres of land that I am trying to work by myself with a wheelbarrow and a pitchfork. Here's a look at what I got started doing this week. I used to think you needed dozens of acres to be a farmer or turn a profit or grow the food your family needs. I'm quickly learning you need less than an acre to do all of those things. I'm also not the first person to claim this. I've seen so many other farmers on here doing exactly that. If you're feeling the call to do anything like this in any way, I'm here to tell you it's not necessarily easy, but it is possible, and you only need a few acres. You only need 1 acre or a roof on a building. If you're wondering how to buy this acreage, I did it with a loan I got at Farm Credit East, not the USDA, but it is a nationwide network, and I got a loan for undeveloped farmland. There were no utilities at this land. I'm currently paying the loan back as we speak while I figure out what the heck I'm doing here.
So there's reports coming out right now about farms in Texas losing nearly 100% of their staff due to immigrant workers not turning up because of fear of the ICE raids. So let's talk about that. Texas farms generate around $32 billion a year in revenue for the state. Huge, valuable. And there's around 100,000 and there's hundreds of thousands of farm workers in Texas. And around 30% of those are foreign born, and around 17% of those are undocumented. So there's a lot of immigrants and a substantial number of undocumented immigrants. Now, the ICE raids have caused people to stay at home because of the fear that they're going to get deported. This means that farms are losing their staff. Some dairies have lost half their workers overnight. That's halts milk operations and also means the herds are being tended to. But it's not 100% of staff because less than 30% are immigrants in the first place. So we need to clarify 2 points. First of all, it is an issue because farms require a lot of manual labour. And even if you're losing 10% of the staff, that's going to be a bigger impact, but it's not 100%. Now, the reason it's a problem right now is this harvest is going on right now. So it's the winter wheat harvest, so it's constant winter, gets harvested now, and around 50% of wheat will be harvested right now. And it's a critical phase. That's not going to happen if the staff aren't there. You think got a lot of fruit being harvested right now. Cantaloupes, watermelons, peaches, plums, blackberries. They're all being harvested right now in either central or northern Texas. And these delays could either cause a loss of the crop or a reduced quality and therefore reduced revenue for the farmers. So it's actually quite a big issue. There's also secondary effects. So hay and silage is having troubles being harvested. That means there's going to be a long tail impact because the lack of hay now going to impact the feed supplies later on. You've also got problems with logistics, so haulage, delivery, and then food processing plants. Think about abattoirs, etc. If the immigrant workers don't turn up for that either, you're not going to be able to get the food processed even once it is going from the farm to the factory. So this is quite a big issue. Not 100% of staff, but it is a significant percentage of staff which is going to impact food supplies.
Texas is continuing the F around and find out stage. Guess what just hit 0 before Donald Trump's approval rating? Right there. Farm labor attendance, 0. Entire fields, whole crews are ghosting fields, leaving fruits and vegetables to rot because the Donald Trump administration is too busy playing cat and mouse with people who just want to feed America. To the MAGA people who are saying that immigrants are taking your job, this right here is your opportunity. Pick yourselves up by the bootstraps, get those buckets, and pick those strawberries. No more hiding behind those welfare checks that are padded behind blue state dollars. You wanted the raids, you got them. Now get in those fields and pick those fruits and vegetables before you watch the produce aisle turn to a luxury boutique section. Chop chop, MAGA, and that's it.
Look, Texas farmers are going broke, period. Why? Because there's nobody left to work on the farm. ICE been out there snatching folks up left and right. Now entire fields are just sitting, crops rotting, barns empty, and the owners drowning in debt. And before we get slick in the comments, these workers just ain't just illegals. They the same people who've been picking your food, milking your cows, baling your hay, and keeping the grocery store stocked while you sleep. But now they gone, scared to even show up. You can't blame them. Who trying to get locked up by ICE? Farmers are literally saying, I have 0 workers. 100% gone. This ain't no drill. This happening right now in Texas. Ice raids hit the fields within days and everything came to a stop. And guess what? That means prices about to go up. Yes, no food, no help, no future. That means prices about to go up. Texas Agriculture Commissioner said it himself. The dairy farms are in sheer panic. And if you think this won't affect you because you don't live on a farm, you ain't ready for what's coming. Here's 3 things you better do to prepare right now. 1, start buying local. Support your nearest farms. Farmer market, they keep them afloat before they disappear for good. 2, grow your own food. I'm serious. Even if it's a tomato plant on your balcony or a box of lettuce by the window, when the shelves go empty, that little bit matters. 3, speak up. We need policies that make sense. Let folks work legally. Let the people who want to help feed this country do it without fear. This ain't just a Texas issue. It's a American collapse right in front of your face. The system is crumbling from the inside out. Not from war, not from riots, but from neglect. Pray for the farmers, speak up the workers, and stop acting like food just magically shows up in the stove.
If you are a believer, you're born again, you are called to be a watchman or watchwoman or watch person, doesn't matter. So it means you are someone who's to behold, to look up. You're called to be one who waits on the Lord.